Hello! In this video tutorial, we will focus on creating the interactive map using Angular and Flask. We will first start from the backend, creating an API for getting data specifically prepared for the map, and then we will finish on the front end creating the map. So we go back to our backend, to our map Python file. Here we will add one more method. We will get data with the name get data, and here we will write two variables. The data itself, it's basically this data frame, and the year. Why the year? Because if you remember, we will have a select a control for the user to select the data for different year. So since we want to have our interactions our visualizations interactive, so we will filter the data by the year here. We don't need to load all the data, only for that specific year. So for doing this, we have to first filter the data by the year. So we can create a variable, give it some name, and then we have, since it is a data frame, in a data frame, for filtering the data, so we specify which column we want to filter, and we have to, should be already a date time object or format. And we say that the year should be equal to a given year, because this year will come from the client. I will make sure that this is not a string, it is a number. Okay. Yes. After this, we would need to drop some duplicates if we have in our data set. So for doing this, just to make sure that we don't have any duplicates, we have a function which does for us called drop duplicates. And here we want to specify specifically if we have a duplicated patient ID column. And we say that we want to not removing completely all of them, but we want to keep the first one. Or could be also last one, but we want to keep the first one. Then we need to calculate total amount of patients in our data set for this specific year. So for doing this, we create a variable total, and then we apply the Python built-in function length, which will take the length of the list, and to get the list from the panda data type, so we call first result, we get the column patient ID, which returns us a type series, and we want only to have the values of the column, right, without these headers. This value counts will calculate for every patient how many rows, and we take the length, so it will return us number of unique patients in our data set. So afterwards we will we want to, for our map, to calculate amount of patients for specific municipality. So if you go to the map, so we have here patient ID and I have municipality. So for every municipality we have to group these patients by municipality. So that's why we use the group by. We'll use a group by. Okay. Result equals result group by. And in group by, we specify you have to group by the correct exactly name of this column. we want to count amount of it. We put its size. Then we have to reset the index and give it a new name to this column, total. So by doing this operation, we will get like this. For example, we will get, for example, Kalmar 5,000, Nybro 10,000, Västervik 2,000, and so on. We'll have only two columns, municipality and total. Yeah, we give it a name, total. This result will only have two columns. So we have to rename some columns because the visualization which we will use doesn't accept this column name municipality. Yeah, for the map they only need to have a column called with a name and total. Yeah, and the value. So here we will rename the columns. Here we have municipality. We rename it to the name. We convert it to dictionary, to the Python dictionary, because in a web you cannot send data frames, and JavaScript and TypeScript and Angular doesn't understand the data type data frames. Yeah, it only understands like a dictionaries array of JSON objects. So we will also create one more object in our dictionary with the name all. It is when none of the regions is selected, a total population for the Kalmar. Yeah, a total population. So this first will contain on a name, a region name, a number of peoples there, having the hypertony diagnosis, and here for all total population of the Kalmar for that specific year. Now we will make the response result to dictionary orient records turn response. Okay, so now in our app we should create this API call which we will use from the Angular. Since we use Angular on a local host, we have to also use a cross origin, and for this we also need to install one more library which is will allow us to do this. So we will use this Flask course. And then we will import it here, and after we create our application we will define that we allow get, post and options requests from this origin. So we will create a method which is get data for the map, and this is how will we do with it. So here we create the app road, create a URL, how to access this API. The method should be post, options, it should be cross origin, and then we have a name of it, should be the same name, and then we have a request it catches the post request, has a filter here, so if it's post, and we have to import the request from Flask. So from Flask we have to import the request. We will read the JSON from the Angular, which will give us the information about the year. And the map data, which we already loaded here once, will be given to this, yes, parameter. It will return the result, and we return the result, yeah, okay. Okay, so we are done with the backend. The backend is ready, and we can start it. And we will continue with the front end. Okay, it started. So now we go to the front end. So in the front end, we should first generate component called map. Generate component map. Okay, so it created for us a component map. So in our main component, so now we can specify that inside of this tab, we will show the map component. Okay, app map component. So we can already go and check in our browser. Okay, some error. Yes, it says app map is not a known element, so we have to have here also imported it. Okay, map component, sorry, map component. Okay, so now we have inside this component, it says map works as a generated text when we create the component. So inside of the map component, so we will create some container, div container. I will just copy and paste to make it faster. So I have a div container with the class map container, then an inside select container. This is our select form control to select a year. And here is our map chart from the Apache eCharts. So in our TS file, we first should import the select module and charts module. So we will need to import here a lot of different modules. All of these models are imported from Angular material. So this is from Angular material, and this is from a library, Apache visualization library. For visualization library, we should also add more things like providers. So it's needed to load the eCharts library correctly in this component. So we still have some errors because we have unknown variable year control, unknown map chart options, and unknown method on chart init. Yeah, so we have to define these three variables. Yes, so for the year control, so we will have like this variable. it is a form control, and the default value is 2020 year. Then we will have also additional variables. We also have our chart, our plot of our chart, visualization chart, this component, defined as a e-chart, and you have to specify only options to it. So if we go to the e-chart component, I select any visualization library. As we can see, we only need to create these options. So options which will contain what do you need to have on X, Y, Y, and the data. And this is the data preparation for this chart, for example, or data formatting for this chart. But everything what we need to do in visualization is set up these options. The title, the X-axis values and names, the Y-axis names, and the data itself. So it is still broken because we didn't define this chart in it. It will come there soon. So we need also extra data. So we will use so we need a map itself, the regions of the Kalmar, which is GeoJSON data. So now we will create it as an unknown variable. And we will also create two more helpful variables, which is selected region all. It is for having the information when we can select a region on the map. Then we have the all regions data. It's still empty. We will get them from the backend. So for the map, we also need some information about population. So this is a hard-coded values, and I have created a class with a name municipality. And here it is an interface. Okay, it's not a class, it is an interface which has a name and population as a string. And then it's a list of these objects for every. In this case, we only have population just for 2020 year, but not for other years, right? So it is a little bit not accurate data that we have. Ideally, it should be, and it should be also requested from some API to get this correct data for that specific year. Okay, then we will have a constructor. In the constructor, we will use the map service that we have created before. Service, map service. And we'll create one more service, which is setting service. And get generate service, services. Settings. So this service is will have all needed information about any changes that the user does, and we will subscribe to these changes, and every component in Angular will know of the latest update of the settings. Okay, I will just quickly first I defined what kind of settings we have. We have a year and a region. These two settings where we interact with our visualizations and change the data and request it from the backend. So inside of the service, I will just go quickly. I'm creating, we need to have a constructor here. So I'm creating a specific data type called behavior subject of the type settings, and must have some initial value, default value, which I'm giving that we want to show a data for 2020 and for all Kalmar region. Then we create the observable. It's not used there, but it will be used in others. And then we have a set year and get year, as well as set region method. I don't know why we don't have a get region, but it should be also get region as well. So these methods, they are setting up the values and updating this component. And we subscribe to this one on other different components to get the current year and region. So go back to the map, and we also want to include the settings service. Okay, settings service. Yeah, okay. And then in the map service, so we have it empty yet, it doesn't do nothing. So in the map service, we want first to load the map itself, the geodata. And for doing this, we will, of course, create these additional variables. So again, behavioral subject of the map data. So we have create the map interface that will have this information. Okay, it's exactly what could be returned from the server. And then we will have in the constructor, we have to import the HTTP client to make any request for our backend. We have to import the HTTP client. Okay. Okay, we will use some headers as a global variable. We will communicate using the JSON objects back and forth. So first we will create load municipalities, and load municipalities method. This one method is loads the Swedish municipality JSON file, which was downloaded from the web, which has this JSON structure of the geodata, and we need to copy this file in our project also. So I will just copy this file in the static geodata. Okay, where do we have this public geodata? Copy. Everything what you want to put, like also used like in images and so on, we should put in the assets folder in the public, and there should be assets folder. We have to create it. Front end, up. Then we have public. Yeah, public. We create a new folder, assets. Okay, misspelled it. Assets. And then we have here this is geodata. And yeah, so this is a JSON coordinated, making these polygons of the regions. Okay, it's creating this map with the polygons of these regions. It's taken from the internet, already existing one. And you will just need to, I filter there only for the Kalmar region, okay? It contains all Sweden, but I'm also only interested in this Kalmar region, so that I'm filtering out here. Okay. Okay. So now map component. So in the map component, we first will load the regions of the map. So this one will first load the regions of the map. So yeah, it will do this. It will read our JSON file, filters, correct municipalities to make a polygons on the map. And we will, the result we assign to this, to this object that we have created here. The next one is we will subscribe to changes of the select. So we have here control of change the values. We subscribe to the new value. If there is new value in our settings, we will set it up this new value, and all other components which subscribe to this new value will get it automatically in real time. And now we will use the get map data, right? So how we will use our backend now? We haven't used our backend yet, so we will create one more method called get map data, and this is how we call it. So we will give a year as a parameter. Okay, and then I think you need to just name it the same name. Okay. And we have the HTTP client. So we have here HTTP client making a post request and to this URL. Yeah, it will be to this URL. And then this is a get data for the map, which we created already in our backend. It should be exactly the same name. We give a year as a JSON parameter. We give a headers and some credentials, right? We do not use any authentication here. We don't have any user here. Management. Okay. So, and now coming back, we can ask this data, and then we will create a method to visualize the data. Okay. So make it very faster to make it, yeah, okay. So here we ask this to get our data for this year, and when it returns the result, it returns us the data. Yeah. So inside of this data, I'm going through the data and I'm matching, because I need to know the Kalmar population, and matching the population to the data. So now I will have like name, municipality name, like Kalmar, total with a hypertony, and then one more population. Population we take from here, right? Okay. So we join these two to have this all data in one place, in called merge data. So inside of the merge data, I also calculate one more variable, which is a percentage. Yeah, which we show on the map, and then I will make a method to draw the map data, and here is the data. So let's add this method now. It's quite a big method, but it's not so complicated, maybe. Okay. So this draw method gets data to visualize, and then we create some totals. For these totals, we need to know the min and max of the total values to have this range shown in a map. Okay, so we register a map with these regions of the polygons for each city in this Kalmar region, and then we create this map option that we already have it here defined as an empty, and now we specify that we have a title. It have to display it on the left side, and then now we have also a visual map, yeah, which will show us different colors depending on which range do we have. It will show us max and min total max we have calculated here. It shows just max, and minimum I have specified as default value here instead of this one. And then we have a text high and low, and it's calculatable true. So this is this visual map. I will show you then when we run what it looks like. We have a tooltip, so whenever we navigate or hover the region some on the map, we want to show it the name of it, the population, and the percentage. So this is how you do it. You have create your own custom visualization of the data, which is useful for the user, for example. And then the data itself, it is a series, it is array, and we have here just one object, one element. It's a type map, and it's Kalmar because we already have registered it as a Kalmar with a name, given name. And we have to specify the labels, how they will be visualized, their style, and what should be shown on it. Yeah, and as well as this is the data, all regions. Okay, data. Here is all regions. And we're missing one more method, which is two more methods. So it's this one on char init, which was complaining here. Now it is there. But we are missing now the, so this is when we want to click on the regions, we want to make it selectable, and we want to change a color of it on the, that it's visually shown as it is selected region on the map. So for doing this, we create on map click params, and then okay, if params has a name, if it's to the selected region, then we put a set region, and also should put this region name equals all. Yeah, and here selected region also. And here we update, so we want to put a gray if other regions is not selected, and then we put back the color, original color, if we do unselection, if we do not select anymore the region. Okay, let's have a look. It's compiled now correctly. Let's test our application. Some error. Okay. No provider for HTTP client. Okay. So if we go to the services, I think we should do this in a map service. Okay, we should check our map service. Have here HTTP client. That looks okay. I missed somewhere, maybe in somewhere in configuration. I'm missing in the configuration this line. And I need to add it to here. Okay, it's not it doesn't do it automatically. Okay. So now we have our control here. I forgot to to have a CSS here. So here should be a correct CSS for the chart that has been created here, okay, for this component. So now it shows correct the year. We have an error with communicating with the server. So let's see, get data from map. It shows some error here. We should go to our backend, to the backend. So here I have some mistake in my code, some misspelling as usual. So here it should be subset. So I have to restart it now. And let's try it again. We still have an error. Okay, here I also have misspelled it. Okay. Okay. I think it's some mistake because rename result, yes, some mistake. Just a second. It doesn't make sense to do this like this, so it could be some mistake here. I think we don't need to do this. Okay, to dictionaries and res. Okay, it says we cannot, object has no attribute append. Okay, it's again append. And I think we need to return the res here and not this one, because you already have done this. It was a mistake here. Okay. Let's see. So now it seems to be works correctly. So it returns the data and they are on a map. Let's look, choose another date. We have selected another date, but we didn't get yes, but nothing changed. Yeah, the map is not updated, right? Because we have here some mistake in our logic. So when we get a new, so I will move this outside and will create like load data method, and then each time when we get a new value here, I will do the load data, and one time as well, the first time when the application is shown. So now when we, so as you can see, we go and ask the backend, and it's working pretty fast. And we can also select a region and deselect the region. So this one element is built in our code, as I will show you here in the code. So this element is built here, called visual map. Okay, so this is that element here. And this deselect and select is implemented using this code, these two methods. So now we have ready this map. On the next video tutorial, we will look on other types of visualization in descriptive statistics tab.